Hello, welcome to your week 2 summary and week 3 overview video for your sports business management introductory module. In the week that's just gone, so in week 2, we've explored a bit more around the public sector earlier on in the week with Phil, and then you've done some stuff around the voluntary sector with me in the middle to latter part of the week. We've also had this session around referencing with Tom, which is going to be really important for you going forwards, both in this module and beyond. And then we've started to look at how we can build the report assessment. But I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Obviously, with this session with Phil, you've also looked at how the three sectors interlink. And if we go back to Learning Space and look at the presentation assignment, you've got the task to talk about the different sectors, so the private, the public, and the voluntary, but also selecting an organization and discussing how they engage with all three sectors. So how they interlink with the voluntary, the public, and the private sector. That's obviously due in next Thursday. So we have now finished the content. Essentially, we're going to deliver around that. So next week, we explore some different topics. So your presentation you can build and finish whenever you want between now and next Thursday. We have said that you should practice your presentation. So ideally, you'd be looking to finish it around Tuesday. And then you can have a go at rehearsing that together, and then maybe have some time Tuesday evening or Wednesday or Thursday morning to kind of put the finishing touches on if you've done too much and you've gone over, or you've not done enough and you're way under your time. In terms of what we're doing next week. So next week, you've got this session with Phil Brown on Monday online, where he's going to introduce the sport and landscape. You're then going to extend that with Phil face-to-face on Tuesday, where you understand it a bit more. And then we're going to start to look at the different organisations in isolation, so the role of government, the role of local authorities, and then in week 4 we look at the other two, so non-department public bodies and governing bodies. So if we go back to your EduBlog assessment and have a look at your report section, which we spent today looking through in terms of introducing it, obviously you've got these 4 components here. You're going to have 2 sessions on each. So in terms of the content you need, we're going to build that across weeks 3 and 4. Now we've introduced the report section, and then next week, at the latter part of the weeks on Friday, we've got another session where we're going to look through your report plans that you've created off the back of today's session, bring them with you with feedback from your huddle group to next Friday's session, and we'll really develop those plans. So by the end of that session, you can start writing your report part of your EduBlog. Now, of course, you won't be able to finish it or even plan all of it in depth, because all we'd have covered in content is introducing the sport and landscape, the role of the government, and the role of local authorities. So we will still have a little bit more to do in week 4, but you can get going with your report after this session here next Friday. Also next week, we've got a session around your presentation. Please bring with you your presentations so far to that session, whether they're completed or partially completed, bring them with you. And then on Thursday, we've got our assessed presentations. So I'm going to send out a structure and more details about that over the next few days. Going back to your EduBlog, please make sure that you've signed up to your EduBlog as a minimum. In addition to your report, you've also got these 3 sections here. So your About Me, which you can do quite quickly. Your study skills, we've covered everything we need to cover now. So it's a case of you doing these tasks, updating your gap analysis closest to the end, and then writing a short written reflection on your wider study skills. And then, as you will see next week, we've got this session, which is tasks we're going to set you around planning your job search. What we then do in week 4 is we have more sessions on building your CV, building a supporting statement. But this session next week will allow you to complete this part of your employability section. So as you can see, we're progressing through your EduBlog, and by the end of the 4th week, you can obviously do everything, but by the end of next week, we'd have done sessions which will allow you to cover all of this in terms of the plan and being able to start to write it, and all of this. So in week 4, all we're really going to do in your final week is look at this bit in a little bit more depth in terms of CV and supporting statement, and then the final 2 components of your report around NDPBs and governing bodies. In terms of your structure for next week, so Monday you've got an online session with Phil Brown. On Tuesday, you're in with Phil in the morning. You've then got a bit of a break where you can do some presentation work or some report work or go home. And then we've got this session later on in the afternoon, early evening on Tuesday around your presentations. You'll be set some tasks as well to do in that time. On Wednesday, we've got an online session around the role of government. On Thursday, presentations followed by the role of local authorities. And then on Friday, we're back in for an online session around report planning and some tasks. Enjoy your weekend. Have some downtime as well as trying to progress with some work if possible. Obviously, you'll see Phil on Monday. I'll see you again next Tuesday in the late afternoon, early evening. But if you've got any questions in the meantime or need any help, chuck something in the group chat or chuck something individually into the chat. And I can help you over the weekend or early next week if possible. Thank you very much. See you soon.